So today I'm going to be watching Uncle Buck, but I'm going to let Siskel and Ebert review this one, and I'm going to basically review Siskel and Ebert's review of the film. I always enjoyed Siskel and Ebert growing up. They were film critics. They both had a separate paper that they were writing for, and I often agreed with Siskel. Sometimes I'd agree with Ebert, and they both had their their thing. But they were really good reviewers, film reviewers.
John Candy is a character similar to the one he played in that wonderful 1987 comedy named Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Both movies directed by the same man, John Hughes. In this one, Candy is a large, shabby, unemployed, good-hearted bachelor, kind of lonely, and when his brother calls and asks a favor, he's happy to agree. The brother and sister-in-law have got to leave town on a family emergency, they tell him, and they need somebody to babysit with their 3 kids. Well, not surprisingly, the kids aren't too thrilled with their new authority figure.
You put onions in the eggs.
I'm gonna go check on Maisie. I'll fix you some cereal when I get back.
The comedy over the years got a little bit dull, but there's still some funny moments.
She's humiliated by everything about Candy, especially his car.
Tying your shoe?
It's 80s. It's 80s film, so but good nonetheless.
What time do you want me to pick you up after school?
Don't bother, I'll get a ride with friends.
Eventually, Candy is able to bring the smaller kids around. They're fascinated by his approach.
Did you brush your teeth?
Yeah, I could even feel my toothbrush.
You know, I have a friend who works at the crime lab at the police station. I could give him your toothbrush, and he could run a test on it to see if you actually brushed your teeth or just ran your toothbrush under the faucet.
Uncle Buck is on the same familiar turf, but there's something a little strange about the film. It wants to be funny and warm-hearted, but at the same time, it has a dark undercurrent, and there are scenes where the kindly uncle goes after the teenager's boyfriend with a power drill and then locks him in a car truck and tapes his hands together with construction tape. It's strange the way this movie generates creepy feelings that work against everything it's trying to do. By the end of the movie, I wasn't sure that I would want Uncle Buck living in my suburb with me if I lived.
That's kind of true.
I like the darker material more than the sweet, predictable namby-pamby stuff. I mean, to have the kids suddenly be transformed by Uncle Buck into being better mannered, and to have Uncle Buck become transformed by the kids into being willing to finally propose marriage to Amy Madigan, that's nothing special.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that coming a long way down.
That's TV sitcom.
Yeah.
I like the dark stuff. You know, things like that movie Neighbors,
Siskel's a bit of a psychopath.
I like the dark quality in the suburbs. If the film had been more consistent in that way, with Uncle Buck being totally disruptive to the suburban environment, that would have been exciting.
I was thinking about Neighbors also.
Probably wouldn't have wanted Siskel to be my neighbour, I can tell you that.
Hughes didn't seem to know which way he wanted to go, and so what you have is this upbeat kind of material with this undercurrent that seemed to be pulling against it. So both of it, I guess we agree in one way or another. The movie
but yeah, Siskel kind of like the dark stuff a little bit too much, I think.
Right, I have courage, and I love to see movies generally more dark than they are. More dark than they are.
I'd probably give both of them 2 thumbs up. They both brought up valid points. I like the film. You know, it's kind of got that family kind of vibe to it. It's a classic 80s. So I'll give it a thumbs up either way. Like they said, there were some darker spots in it and that, but you know, that's alright. You know, it's no Home Alone, but it's like definitely no Ferris Bueller's Day Off either. So it's its own thing, I guess.
The cook, the thief, his wife, and her lover.
Yeah, The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover.
The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover, a brutal comedy about the superficial times in which we live, told in the form of violent sexual intrigue, played out in a fancy French restaurant in England. The lead character is a disgusting, boorish mobster who berates his employees and his wife at every turn.
You know, I really enjoyed this film. I thought it's very dark, and it's got an M rating now, but it used to have an X rating. And
that's Michael Gambon portraying a stunningly vulgar character and doing a terrific job. His wife, Helen Mirren, decides to get revenge by having an affair with a meek-looking man also dining in the restaurant.
What the hell do you think you're doing? Hey, telling a complete stranger intimate details about us.
It's not about us. It's about me.
It's about us!
The set design is amazing. The food that comes out is just lavish, and
The
it's
two of them have repeated and explicit sexual couplings amid the restaurant and its produce.
I'm learning fast. How to cut corners, save time.
yeah. So as Siskel was
I'm
saying,
getting good at it.
stars Helen Mirren. She was in
And
it.
those meetings go on for more than a week with deceit and revenge hanging in the air. There is some purpose, I think, to the wild behavior in this film. Director Peter Greenaway has fashioned a world similar to that of Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange, only we're not talking about teenagers here or young punks. We're talking about a much older punk and a thug.
You want to communist? Get up! You get up! Get in there!
As an adult-only picture, and I found it refreshing to see an intelligent adult film.
This movie is original, and what it attempts to do, I think, is to provide a parable, in particular, for the Britain that Peter Greenaway lives in. This is a movie that's been referred to in Britain as a very violent and angry anti-Thatcher film, and you can read it on that level.
I'll give them 2 thumbs up for that. For Cook, the Thief, His Wife and Her Lover.
It has shocked some people and impressed others.
Well, I watched it and I even thought that it was quite full on. So I can imagine back in the 80s, whatever it was, it would have been quite provocative, but definitely worth having a look at.
We can handle this material. We see such garbage.
Obviously, Siskel loving the dark material, you know. He's
Pictures that we review. Here's an
psychopath.
One of the tragedies of our time that anyone who wants to make a daring film like this has to pay a financial penalty because of the pig-headedness of the MPAA. And when we come back,
Baby's Day
you
Out.
like the look, you like the old-fashioned
And other
feel,
things.
you like the tone. Well,
Oh, no.
I hated this movie more than any other movie on this show.
I wasn't a fan
I'm really
either.
surprised at you. You should be ashamed of yourself.
What,
First of
for
all,
not agreeing with you? I've never been ashamed of that. I've been proud of that.
Okay, well, in that case, the burglars who are recycled right out of Home Alone are really awkwardly written, awkwardly played, and they're not funny at all.
So this is by John Hughes.
Of course, this
He
whole
did
movie
Uncle
is
Buck.
obviously inspired by Baby Herman, the sequence at the beginning of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, no, you don't! Oh! My doggy!
It's funny in a cartoon because it's not real. If you think that a real baby crawling through traffic and crawling out on it, look, you're already smiling. You think that's funny. I didn't think it was funny.
I thought it was an absolute perfect child's
Yeah,
eye
I didn't.
view of the fantasies that they might have.
If you
And little
like
kids-
Baby's Day Out,
this is
comment,
where I
let
think
us
you're
know.
off by a lot. Little kids will really have their hearts in their throats as they watch.
I agree
this
with
thing,
Siskel on
and
that
will be
point.
tickled,
remember-
and will be
Kids will like
absolutely
it.
tickled by the way the baby survives and the
I don't
bad
think
guys are
it's a
foiled.
movie that's appropriate for little kids. I can remember
But
when I
that's
was
kinda true.
3.5 years old. I went to see a movie where Mickey Rooney was standing on a ledge outside a window. It was a comedy. Everybody was laughing. I was terrified. I think a little child who sees this baby about to fall off of tall buildings and be crushed by big cars isn't going to know what's funny.
Oh, you know,
Anyway, I'll give Roger thumbs up for this one. Siskel, thumbs down.
I better go back and find out who attended that sneak preview. I saw all those children are in dear jeopardy of becoming
We attended
Roger Ebert.
the same
Just taking cheap shots
and those
now.
kids were not with that movie.
We didn't attend it. I saw it in Michigan City, Indiana.
He's losing.
Last Saturday.
Losing
So
the
you
fight.
Totally different audience.
Look, just to let you know that the season 2 trailer will be coming out on Saturday. So, you know, make sure you keep an eye out for that one. And, because season 2 is coming out in February. So, yeah, guys, make sure you check out the trailer and subscribe to the channel. And click the bell icon. That way you know when the episodes are coming out. So, yeah, I'll see you soon.